Namaste. Welcome back, everyone, to this 30-day restorative yoga challenge. In the previous video, see everything that you'll need and how to set up for this pose. Pose number 3, which we'll be doing from day 21 to day 30 of the challenge. With your bolster set up against the wall or a few inches away from the wall, take a seat at the end of it and gently swivel yourself around so that your legs come up the wall. You'll then take your belt and fasten it around the mid-shin area, making sure that it's not too tight, but comfortably holding the legs in position. From there, you'll gently reach the heels, so sliding the heels up toward the ceiling, the toes coming toward the nose to create some nice length through the back of the legs, and then softly release, so letting the legs soften back into position. Take a moment to notice if your pelvis is nicely centered on the bolster, and it should feel like your lower back is fully supported and spilling off the edge. Shoulder blades softly tucked under, and arms positioned slightly away from the body, ideally with the palms turned up. So make sure that you position your arms in such a way that you can fully relax in the shoulder area. From there, you'll take your 2 or 3 arriving breaths. So taking a full breath in and a full breath out, either making a sigh or a ha sound on your exhale. After you're doing your 3 arriving breaths, just allow your breath to come back into its natural rhythm. So allowing your awareness to stay on the breath and observing as the inhale and the exhale flow into one another. Fully feeling, sensing, listening to the inhale and the exhale, without needing to change anything at all, simply observing the natural movement of the breath. And then feeling as your body begins to settle more deeply into the pose, your muscles begin to relax a little more in the pose. And maybe even tuning in to the heart rate settling. From there, I invite you to do a personal body scan from top to bottom, just noticing if there's any place in your body that feels like it's calling out for a little bit more attention. And see if you can soften around those areas first. From there, we'll go through the guided body scan. So remember, the guided body scan is intended to help keep us focused and centered in the body. Let's begin by noticing where the heels are touching the wall, noticing any sensation in the feet. From there, moving into your ankles, noticing any differences that you may feel from one to the other. From your ankles, you'll make your way across your shins and your calves, feeling where the belt is holding your legs. From there, moving across the knees, feeling the fronts and the backs of the knees. And ideally, there's a very soft bend in the knee. From the knees, you'll move across the thighs, so feeling the tops of the thighs and the backs of the thighs. And following the thighs along and into the hips. So allowing your glutes to soften, your belly to soften, your pelvic floor to soften. Get a sense of all the tissues around the joint of the hip softening. And feeling the full weight of the pelvis release into the bolster. From there, bringing your awareness into your lower back. Feeling the length of the lower back and the muscle softening. From there, you'll continue up your spine, noticing anything along the way. Bring your awareness to rest on the upper back and shoulders, and invite this area to fully release into the floor. Feel the full weight of your head release into the floor. And if you have any discomfort in the head, remember you have the option of placing a very thin padding underneath the head. That may make a difference. Bring your awareness into your face, allowing your jaw to soften, your tongue to soften. Bring your awareness to your eyes, softening the contours of the eyes and the space between your eyes. Allow that softness to spread up into the forehead, across the scalp and around to the ears. Softening all around the ears. And allow that softness to spill into the shoulders and arms, into the palms of the hands. Notice any sensations in the palms of the hands. And wherever your hands are resting, see if you can notice how many of your knuckles are in contact with the surface beneath and how many are floating. Take a moment to notice if the weight of your head, your upper back, and your pelvis are equally releasing into the support and the floor. Bring your awareness back to your legs and see if you can feel your legs fully releasing into the pelvis. So in other words, feeling the weight of each leg softening down, as though the head of each thigh bone were comfortably nestling into its socket. From there, you can bring your awareness back to your breath and slowly begin to explore the breath from nose to tail. So thinking of the spine as the runway for the breath. And even though you may not use the entire length of the runway, at least know that it's available to you. So softly breathing in, softly breathing out, exploring along that line. If your mind wanders, it may help to begin counting the breath. How many seconds for your inhalation and how many seconds for your exhalation. Once you've established the length of your breath, you can begin by equalizing the breath. So see if you can equalize the breath so the inhale becomes the same length as the exhale. And if your body's still feeling relaxed and comfortable, you can try adding on a second to the inhale, a second to the exhale, and see if anything changes in the body. When I'm doing this pose, I love to bring to mind the image of a waterfall, the cascading downward energy. If that helps bring that to mind. And we'll take another few breaths here. And to come out of the pose, gently bend your knees and place your feet at the wall. And then from there, you gently push your feet into the wall and see if you can softly shimmy away from the wall until your entire body is back down on the floor. You can take a breath or two there. And from there, gently make your way onto your right side or your more comfortable side. And take a few breaths there, noticing the sensations in the legs and along the spine, or anything else you may notice. And then from there, when you're ready, you can push through your palm and come up to seated position. Take a few breaths in your seated position. And then you can grab hold of your notebook and take down whatever thoughts first come into your head, or anything that you may have noticed in this practice. From there, if it feels like the right thing for you to do, you can bring your hands to your heart center and chant one Om to end your practice. Namaste.